Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 2 of Beyond the Surface, a podcast made for you, the contractor, to help us with our day-to-day lives and all the stuff that we go through as contractors. I'm your host, Keith Kimberlin, and today I'm going to be going over the top 8 things that you need to know about becoming a franchisee and why franchising is better than starting a business on your own on this episode of Beyond the Surface. All right, so the other day, one of my friends asked me, he says, hey, why would I pay somebody a franchise fee to become part of their business when I can just go out and start the business on my own? And we used the hamburger concept. You know, hey, I've got a great hamburger recipe. I've got a really cool little spot. I think I can create some cool ambiance. I got some ideas. I'm going to have a little wine corner, and I'm going to have this, that, or that, whatever. He comes up with his own idea. And so I told him, I said, hey, man, if you wanted to do that on your own, that's great. If you've got it all figured out and you've already got the recipe and all the how you're going to market it and the place you're going to set up and how you're going to grow and scale your business to help your local, because if it's a restaurant business, you're basically going to be serving people within like probably a 5-mile radius of your restaurant, and that's being very generous. But let's say you had it figured out. Hey, man, go for it. You know, you may start another chain and create this really cool little thing. Okay. Well, not everybody wants to do that. Most people want to, if they're wanting to get in their own business, a lot of people will just say, hey, I'm going to join a franchise opportunity because they're going to teach me everything and blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to be going over the 8 things, or the top 8 things, in my opinion, why franchising trumps starting something on your own. So the first thing right out of the gate is business assistance. Now, if you remember in episode 1, I talked about how when I first got my business, I didn't have anybody to ask questions to. I mean, my particular industry is the decorative surfaces industry, where we do everything from epoxy floors to mold set overlays, and it's very, very niche business, but we very much pride ourselves in creating the most realistic product on the market. So that's one of the things that I like, and I've always strived for that pretty much my whole life, being unique and different. And I remember when I was going through this, I'm like, when you start your own business, how do you do all these things? Well, the resources just weren't there. Now, there's probably some self-help books that tell you how to do this and how to do that. But there was just not anything in my industry as far as a out-of-the-box thing that I could say, hey, I want to be part of this brand and I want to grow with this brand. Now, yeah, there's a bunch of different products out there in our industry where you could say, hey, I want to go with this product or I want to go with that product. But you still have to build your business. You still have to create the business part to grow your business. You have to create it. You don't have, there was no book, no guidance, no menu of things that I could do. Hey, do this first, do this second, and so forth and so on. So when you get into a franchise business, whether it be restaurant or whether it be in the service industry like us, what you're paying for is the business assistance. And what I mean by that is pretty much everything that it has to do with the structure of a business. Now, it can be everything from marketing to sales, product, installation, everything related to that business. If it's already packaged for you, it's already made, it's very simple. Basically, all you have to do is learn from somebody. You don't even have to have any experience in whatever it is you're picking. So it could be a tree trimming franchise. If you don't know anything about tree trimming, you join the franchise. They tell you how to sell it, tell you how to climb the trees, and tell you how to do all the different things it takes, what that particular company does to be successful in that business. So you're basically following their existing successful model, and they're giving you the business assistance to help you grow in that space faster than you would, say, if you started your own thing. It's not impossible to start your own thing. I mean, I did it. It took me a long time to get where I'm at today. I mean, we've created a multi-million-dollar business, but it's taken a lot of years to get here. But this is a growing industry. I mean, it's like a $15 billion industry across the world. And I wanted to be part of that. So it's a good thing. So business assistance is a very, very sought after thing. And that's really what you're paying for. When you pay that franchise fee, you're essentially paying for access to the mansion, so to speak. You get to come in, we take you on the tour, we show you where everything's at. We say, hey, yeah, you get this, you get that. We show you all the different ins and outs of the business. And you don't even have to know anything about it. You just have to be a hard worker and be willing to jump into it. So that's the number one thing to consider when becoming part of a franchise. So number two is a big deal. That's brand recognition. If you're starting something on your own, sure, you could go out there and advertise and market and spend a ton of money getting on TV and, maybe doing commercials and sending out brochures and going out on social media, whatever it is that you're doing to promote yourself as a business. But one of the things about brand recognition is if people know about the brand, they trust it. If they know the brand is a national brand, for example, like Surf to Surface is a globally recognized brand, but we are more of a national brand when it comes, we do business in the United States primarily. Before COVID, we had a lot of interest in a lot of other countries, and we still do, but those deals kind of died when COVID came because of all the different restrictions and so forth. But brand recognition is huge, and we get our brand recognition from being on several TV networks. Our products have been featured on Discovery Channel, True TV, HGTV, Magnolia Network, all these different nationally and globally broadcast type reality TV build shows, which we're part of. We're part of some of America's top build shows. And because of that, we've got this brand recognition, which has helped all of our existing franchisees grow their business faster because people, including yourself, think about it, people like to do business with brands that can be trusted. They don't like doing business with Chuck in a truck or Stan in a van. They want to do business with a guy who is trusted, and they want to be able to go out and check your references, so forth and so on. Now, granted, whether you're a franchise business or you're an individual business, you still have to have, good morals and good work ethic and all that stuff. You still have to grow and manage and run your brand. But hitting the ground running is a big deal, which brings me to number three. So in general, franchises, across the board, have a lower failure rate than a guy that goes out and starts his own business. Now, that doesn't mean that a franchise can't fail, because there's plenty of franchises that people have gotten in businesses and they just mismanaged it, or they lost the drive or whatever it is. If it's a franchise brand, then there's some pretty solid ground there that you can grow your business off of. And your individual franchise, you have to grow it and you have to work it no matter what business you're in, whether it be a McDonald's or it be a decorative concrete company. So basically, franchises have already proven their business model. And by becoming part of that franchise, you actually are a little bit more insulated from that failure rate. Which brings us to number 4. Buying power. Now, what does that mean? Well, when you're an individual guy that goes out and starts your own business, whether it be a hamburger business or a lawn mowing business or whatever, you have to go out and you have to purchase whatever it is that you're going to be selling. So if you're selling hamburgers, you got to find the place to buy the meat and the cups and the straws and the napkins and all the stuff that goes into it. Or you can become part of a franchise where they have all that stuff figured out and they purchase their products in large quantities because they are, in fact, the manufacturer or the creator of that product. So they're able to offer it to their franchisees at a significantly cheaper rate than if you were just to go out and start your own business and actually purchase the products retail yourself. So the buying power thing actually pays for itself over the long haul, because here's the thing. When you get into a franchise opportunity, you're going to pay a franchise fee. And that's basically an upfront fee to get you set up and, pay all the brokers and all the different things that go into getting you in as a franchise. But you'll make that money back from the savings on the products that you're purchasing, regardless of what franchise is in most cases, especially in our case. A product that you would normally pay, say a retail, when I say retail, I'm talking about a guy that's in his own business that's in our industry. Let's say he goes out to a supply store somewhere. Say he buys a random product for, say it's $185 at a retail outlet where he's going to take that and he's going to install it and resell that product for more money. Well, that same $185 product is $125 when you're with a franchise brand. You're basically getting to take advantage of the buying power that a globally or nationally recognized brand has because they're selling to so many different existing franchises. They save money by offering their products exclusively to their franchisees. This goes hand in hand with number 5, profits. Now, because of the buying power and because you're able to purchase your products at a lower price, you're able to sell them. You can sell them at a lower price, but let's just say you sell them at the standard retail price. Well, if you're able to pay, say you're paying 20 or 30% less for your products that you're reselling to your customer, even franchises that require a very high initial investment, whether it be on equipment, materials, and so forth, they still make more profit than a company or an individual that starts a business on his own. Now let's talk about number 6, low risk or lower risk. Now, what do I mean by lower risk? Starting a business is risky, whether you're being a franchise owner or an individual business owner. So one of the reasons franchise owners face a lower risk is because of the franchise network involved in that individual business. And what I mean by that is you basically have established businesses that you can actually feed off of and talk to, which lowers your risk because you have a network of individuals that can talk you through the trouble spots that you don't have. Like me, I didn't have that. When I was originally starting my business, I didn't have anybody. So, I was fortunate. I made it through all the statistical things where they say 95% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years of being in business. And then after that, 95% of the ones that survived, they fail within the next 2 years. So if you can get past basically the first 7 years of being in business, you probably got things figured out and you're going to do just fine. But if you want to hit the ground running and lower that risk, franchising is probably your best bet. Another thing about lower risk is borrowing money and actually getting financing for a franchise business is a lot easier than going out and trying to borrow money to start your own thing. It's not saying it's impossible. Of course it's possible. Let's use the restaurant industry as an example. Do you think a bank or a financing, whether it be small business administration or whatever, do you think they're going to be more likely to loan money to an individual that's never had any experience in the restaurant business that wants to start his own Joe's hamburger shop? Or do you think they're willing to invest money into someone that says, hey, I want to invest in this McDonald's or this Five Guys or whatever, Chick-fil-A, whatever it is? The bank is going to see that that's a better risk. That's another thing about Surface to Surface. We're recognized by the Small Business Administration as a reputable business. So if someone was going to go to get a loan to be part of Surface to Surface, say you're going to buy 1 or 2 units, you want to be a big Surface to Surface, you want to have a large territory. Well, you can go to the Small Business Administration and we're recognized as one of their preferred businesses. So you have an opportunity to borrow money and access loans a lot easier by becoming part of a franchise model than you would if you're starting something on your own. This leads me to number 7, a built-in customer base. Now, what does this mean? Various franchises, and we talked about it earlier, like McDonald's, for example, people just know what McDonald's is. Being a recognizable brand, you have a built-in customer base. People just trust existing franchise-type businesses that already have the name. You know this. This is something I don't even really have to be saying. You know this because you as a consumer, like me, I'm a consumer just like you guys are. And I trust the known brands because one, they're nationally, globally, whatever you want to call it, they're known brands that we all shop at and we all go to them. And that's what Surf to Surface is. Surf to Surface is a known brand. So it has a bigger customer base than, say, a guy that's just out there running a business out of the back of his truck. And finally, brings us to number 8. The biggest benefit of being part of a franchise is that you get to be your own boss. So many people out there tell me about, oh man, I wished I could do my own thing. I wished I could be my own boss. I wish I could do it. You got to be careful what you wish for because there are so many things to consider when owning your own business that trying to figure it out on your own is so incredibly hard. It's not impossible, and I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying it's hard. So you always hear the thing, work smarter, not harder. Well, that's one of the things you could apply that to franchising. Yeah, you got to pay a little bit of a franchise fee, like a little part of like a royalty that you pay every month, but you're paying that because you're getting that continuous support. But you're your own boss. You can set your own schedule. You know, if you want to take off for a month, I mean, if you have the money in the bank to do that, you can do that as a franchise owner. And the same thing goes with being in your own business. So whether you're a franchise owner or you're your own business owner, you get to be your own boss. And wouldn't it feel more comfortable being your own boss with a brand that can give you that guidance and give you that peace of mind that if you want to set your own schedule, you don't have to worry about it. All right, so in summary, these are my top 8 reasons to consider franchising. Number 1, business assistance. This knowledge can be essential to running a successful business and makes it much easier than starting a business from scratch. Number 2, brand recognition. A big benefit that franchisees receive when opening a franchise is brand recognition. Franchises are already well-known businesses with established customer bases built right in. So when you open a franchise with this recognizable branding, people will automatically know what your business is, what you provide, and what they can expect. Number 3, lower failure rate. In general, franchises have a lower failure rate than solo businesses. When a franchisee buys into a franchise, they're joining a successful brand as well as a network that will offer them support and advice, making it less likely they'll go out of business. As well, franchises have already proven their business concept, so you can just have that reassurance that the products and services that you'll be offering are in demand. Number 4, buying power. Another benefit of franchising is the sheer size of the network. If you're operating a standalone business and need to order products or supplies to make your products, you're paying more money per item because your order is relatively small. However, a network of franchises has the opportunity to purchase goods at a deep discount by buying in bulk. The parent company can use the size of the network to negotiate deals that every franchisee benefits from. A lower cost of goods lowers the overall operational cost of the franchise. Number 5, profits. In general, franchisees see higher profits than independently established businesses. Most franchises have recognizable brands that bring customers in droves. This popularity results in higher profits. Even franchisees that require a high initial investment for the franchise fee see higher return on investment. Number 6, lower risk. Starting a business is risky. This is true whether a business owner is operating an independent business or purchasing a franchise. That being said, the risk is lower when opening a franchise. One of the reasons franchise owners face lower risks than independent business owners is the franchise network. Most franchises are owned by established corporations that have tested and proven business model for the franchise in multiple markets. This lower risk can also make it easier to access loans, including the best SBA franchise loans, to help you launch your business quicker. Number 7, built-in customer base. One of the biggest struggles of any new business is finding customers. Franchises, on the other hand, come with instant brand recognition and a loyal customer base. Even if you're opening the first branch of a franchise in a small town, the likelihood is that potential customers are already familiar with the brand from exposure to TV shows or travel to other cities. And number 8, be your own boss. One of the biggest benefits of owning a business, whether it's a franchise or a regular business, is being your own boss. When you're starting a franchise business, you get to be your own boss with the added benefit of receiving support from the franchisor. Owning your business is hard work, but when you're your own boss, you get to create your own schedule, have autonomy over your career, and potentially even work from home. A franchise gives you the benefit of being your own boss without the risk of starting your own independent business. Well, that's going to do it for today's edition of Beyond the Surface. Guys, please remember to subscribe, like, share, and all the other stuff you do on social media and get this message out. But until then, we'll see you guys next time on Beyond the Surface.